Hi, hello everybody, and welcome to the Kingdom Compass, where we point you towards the goods and bads of all things Disney. I'm one of your hosts, Griffin Tennell. Griffin D-Pad with me, as always, is the wonderful, the amazing Mr. Mitch George. How are you doing?
Just breathe. Breathe.
It's
Everything's going
fine.
to be okay.
We didn't waste a bit. We didn't waste 10 minutes of our lives. It's
I've
okay.
wasted far more on far less.
Look, y'all, we recorded like the first 10 minutes of this podcast. I realized I wasn't recording audio, and it was genuinely a great 10 minutes.
This cola tastes like maple syrup. Do you know why? No, but it's just
No.
the way the world is.
This is just how things are. I'm sorry, folks. This is my fault. I take responsibility. But also, I know what why the cola tastes like maple syrup. So that's fantastic.
It was just for Griffin.
What's up, folks? Welcome back to the show, where we talk about all things Disney. Yeah, it's been a little bit since we've done this one. We've been a little focused on a bunch of other things, life, work, the world in general is kind of in a chaotic state at the moment. But we have been doing the weekly show. We did that. We finished up whatever show. We finished Percy Jackson.
We finished whatever. God.
I made thumbnails for other shows that we were going to talk about, and then we moved on. Life happens. Busy. But we are here. We're talking today about Wonder Man. We're going to get to that. That is topic of the show today. Before we jump into that, housekeeping for y'all. First off, hi, how you doing? Thank you. And if you're on podcast services, head on over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@KingdomCompassPod, where you can see our lovely faces and see video versions of both of our shows, as well as a litany of shorts from the parks that I have been recording and are kind of going manic a little bit with, because I can just kind of do whatever I want with no oversight, and that really should not be allowed.
No, Griffin should not be allowed on the internet without supervision.
Yeah, go check those out for a good time. And if you are watching us on YouTube and want a podcast version, that is available at the Kingdom Compass Podcast on podcast services around the globe. Of course, if you are listening to us on podcast services, please go ahead and rate us. Let us know what you like to see from the show, what edits you think we can make, or if you're on YouTube, let us know in the comments below. Please let us know what you want to see from the show, and we will do our best to figure out what's up. Now, Mitch, I know I've wasted the time. We're still going to do the bit. We start every episode off with what we have been doing that is not related to our topic of the show. So, Mitch, what have you been watching, reading, playing?
I got two things for you.
Okay.
The first, I had to have a crown, which sucks because it's expensive and it hurts your teeth. But that happened. Yeah, so that's fun. The second thing that's significantly more fun is that I finished season 1 of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Ooh,
so
nice.
This is Game of Thrones. This is, as someone who has read all of the books, as someone who begrudgingly got through all of that TV show, this, including both seasons of House of the Dragon, this is what Game of Thrones is to me. It is satirical. It is, it is, making the most of the situations that you're put in. It is very melancholy in that way. It is far funnier than it has any right to be. In some of the best on-screen moments we've gotten in Game of Thrones, period. And I do think it is definitely worth your time if you are a lapsed Game of Thrones fan because of the way that show hurt you over time. I totally understand, and I can relate to that wholeheartedly. This show is special. Episodes are only like 30-ish minutes. There's only 6 episodes, 6, 8, something like that.
Me actually sitting down watching and us chatting about?
I would be down for it. But honestly, I just think everyone should watch it because I think it's honestly very good, very well written, very well produced television in a bite-sized chunk that is, just really good, a really good time, start to finish.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. A couple of my coworkers have been recommending it to me.
Now that the season is done, it is definitely worth a binge. Because I'm just going to night.
Yeah, I think it's like 6 episodes.
6 or 7. Yeah, it's 6 episodes. So definitely worth watching. I think the leads of the show, so Peter Claffey and Dexter Saul Ansel, both wonderful performances. I love the banter, the back and forth. It's so good.
Oh yeah.
It's just it is television that should be consumed. Don't let the bad taste that Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon has left in your mouth dissuade you from consuming this one, because it's really well done.
Yeah, I want to
And
check it out.
there's one moment in the first episode specifically that is a direct tongue-in-cheek jab at the original Game of Thrones show, and I love that. And it was so good, and it happens in like the first 5 minutes. So even if you're only going to watch 5 minutes of this show, watch it.
All right, I'll sit down and finally check this one out.
Do it. It's so
on a
good.
break from Fallout, so
Fallout was not as good as season 1.
still good, not bad, but it's not nearly as incredible as. As far as stuff I've been doing, I'm gonna bring it up again in less detail, but I've been reading a book called The Buried Giant. It is an incredible book, kind of taking place in post-Arthurian fantasy, about this elderly couple going on a quest to find their son while they're being taken over by this like mist that is causing amnesia, caused by this dragon. It's very fun. It's very unique, and shit pops off in the last like 4 chapters where it gets that much more interesting, and it's like this great payoff to the overarching book. But the other thing I want to bring up is actually a little bit of a rewatch for me. I finally finished The Running Man.
Which one?
The new one.
Okay. This was Edgar Wright.
This was
right?
Edgar Wright's version. I was watching it with my parents of all people, where they're like they couldn't decide what to watch. I'm like, okay, I'm just taking you down and watching The Running Man. Movie's great. It's not. I don't think it's anything like mind blowing to me, especially as someone who like original Running Man. But it's incredibly well done. I will watch anything that Edgar Wright makes. I mean, this man has made some of my favorite movies of all time. It's very, very much worth the time. That said, I think it was a story that like, hey, we got a few different movies last year that told this story, and there are definitely some in there that just. Particularly, I'm thinking of The Long Walk. If you haven't watched it, The Long Walk came out last year, and it was probably one of the best movies of the year. Also, one of the most depressing movies of the
year. I don't handle body horror very well, which is why I've avoided it. But understand that it is quite an interesting piece of media.
It's one of those where it's like, I recommend it if you can handle these kind of thing. But no, The Running Man I think is just as good. It's fun. Glenn Powell is such a fun actor. I think I'm finally starting to like him as an actor. Yeah, it's just a really good time, and I highly recommend it.
I really do need to finish Chad Powers.
I did not like Chad Powers.
I enjoyed what I saw, but I didn't finish the season, and I do think that I should go back and do so. But I really enjoyed him in Twisters. Surprisingly enough, my wife really enjoyed Anyone But You, and I, also really enjoyed that movie.
That movie was great.
Yeah, I like it. Was a good time.
Yeah, I love him. Oh, what's the other? There's another
Spy Kids 3D.
I mean, yes, correct.
Wasn't it Top Gun?
He wasn't Top Gun. He's such an asshole in Top Gun.
I've still not seen Top Gun Maverick. Maybe I'll watch it tonight.
No, I'm bringing up his IMDb. I'm
Hitman?
No, it's not on any of the ones that come up when you're Googling him. But he was in this rom-com. One point.
Set It Up?
I think that is it.
With Zoe Deutsch?
Yes, Set It Up. I love this movie as well.
I don't think I've seen that.
It has one of the funniest moments to be in film, thanks to Pete Davidson.
Oh, okay. Now I have to watch it.
Where it's literally just Pete Davidson throwing a coffee at somebody, and it's like peak perfect. Um, that movie's just also. But let's go ahead and jump into today's topic of the show.
Yes.
We have
What are we talking about again?
pontificated far enough. We are talking today about Marvel Spotlight. Marvel Spotlight, a banner for a new series. I think this is the first or second. I forget if Echo was Spotlight.
Echo was, and then Werewolf by Night was special presentation.
Special presentation. We got too many banners under Marvel TV right now.
They really need, like we said before, we were happy to get these different things like Marvel Knights, Marvel Spotlight, all this stuff, but like less is more. And I hope they do kind of realize, they don't need all of this. But yes,
What I'm
Echo
starting to
and now
understand is
Wonder Man
like
are the two
Marvel
Spotlight
Spotlight means one off, as far as I'm concerned at the moment, until they change that. Which means we get a full contained story. We got that in Echo. There was a beginning, a middle, and end. There was not a, oh, who knows what's going to happen yet. No, there's definitive.
There was
ending.
no crossover into Daredevil Born Again or anything like that. Like we've not seen the character since.
Right. And that's where I'm feeling with Wonder Man, the show which we are talking about. Fully dropped and released on January 27th, starring Yahya Abdul-Mateen II and Ben Kingsley, created by Destin Daniel Cretton and Andrew Guest. 8 episodes.
The latter of whom served as showrunner.
Yeah. Destin Daniel Cretton, who you might know from Shang-Chi, and currently working on Spider-Man brand.
Set up to have probably the biggest year of any creative in Marvel history? Question mark.
I mean, creates what's casually being like one of the best received Marvel TV shows.
Also, one of the best received Marvel movies post Endgame that should have already had a sequel by now.
Yeah, seriously, Marvel.
The fact that we're only seeing Shang-Chi for the third time in Avengers second time. Because he hasn't popped up in any, or technically zombies.
Third if you're counting zombies, but let's just say second.
I'm not counting it. It doesn't count.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy that we haven't gotten a sequel.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to get like a sequel, a series, like, because people loved it. I was still listening to the soundtrack for Shang-Chi.
I rewatched that. That is probably my most rewatched film since Endgame.
I think mine was The Marvels. I really love that movie.
It's good, but yeah, it's no, for me at least, personally, it's no Shang-Chi.
And I'll tell you what, it's specifically the fight scene at the beginning, and then the cat scene near the end. Those are the two scenes that I constantly
Not the musical number?
The musical number is fun, but the playing the music from cats while you're hurting cats that are eating people is definitively one of the funniest things Marvel has ever. But no, I've freaking loved this show. It took me a second to get through this show for only 8 episodes, all of them being around 25 to 35 minutes.
It was a pretty brief watch, yeah.
But man, every single episode is heavy. And there was definitely more than a few moments in here where I'm getting secondhand awkwardness from Simon. But I want to talk about overall opinions, Mitch. What did you think sitting down with Wonder Man?
It was really refreshing. I think is probably the best way to describe it. I don't think it did anything revolutionary, but for a television production at all, like it felt like Marvel's version of the studio. If that's, I don't want to just immediately draw comparisons, but like the satirical take on the machinations of Hollywood, I think Marvel is really well positioned to be at the center of some of the satire, especially right now as we are days removed from the will they won't they Netflix Warner Brothers Paramount situation. Like it's very timely. I think it's really well written. It's well acted. I love getting Ben Kingsley back in the MCU. For again, Destin Daniel Cretton did great things with Kingsley and Shang-Chi, does great things with Kingsley here. You give a good creative, good creator, or a good creator, good creatives, you end up making magic. And Ben Kingsley and anything that DDC does is just phenomenal. So really loved that the way the character's written here. I love the way that Simon and Ben Kingsley, because I can't call him anything but Ben Kingsley, and I can't remember the name of the character off the top of my head.
Trevor?
Trevor Slattery. Their back and forth, the idea of him actually working for the Department of Damage Control, and that's the only reason why he's not in prison. It's really fun. I'm really glad that they found a way to weave that in, because ultimately it ties back into what we're going to see out of Spider-Man, what we've seen already with the way the DODC's popped up. I assume as well we're going to see some more of that crossing over into Daredevil when that becomes a thing in a few weeks. Granted, I know they have the whole anti-vigilante task force, but I do think we're getting to a place where damage control plays a central part of all of this street level vigilantism, and I think that's the right way to approach it.
Oh, I think we'll see a lot more of damage control. I think I could even tell you roughly where it will be, and that will be whenever we get a Young Avengers or Champions.
Mm-hmm.
There's a storyline about that I could very much see them doing. But yeah, I like the show a lot. I don't think it is my favorite Marvel show.
No.
I think that still, frankly, belongs to Agatha all along.
It's not Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel is up there. Agatha's up there. Hawkeye is up there still. Obviously, WandaVision is still up there. I think this sits in at a solid fifth amongst those, and it's in good company.
I'd say like top half.
Seems, I would tell you like
seems more than reasonable. It's hard to discount what Loki and WandaVision both did, but apart from that, yeah, I think it's definitely up there.
Because I am still of the opinion so far that more often than not, these shows have been great. The not being Secret Invasion, that show sucked.
Echo, I wasn't a huge fan of.
Echo, I wasn't a huge fan, but I still had a really good time watching it.
I wanted more from Moon Knight.
Yeah, I'm still disappointed we're not getting more Moon Knight.
And She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, yeah, I thought She-Hulk was great.
I thought it was great, but
I would also say with She-Hulk, just shout out in general to Tatiana Maslany for just saying, like, yes, I don't care if we get more of this. I am going to speak my mind on things. And I respect that out of an actor.
And you want to know why? Canadian.
I'm sure that's the reason.
It's part of it.
Yeah, probably, actually.
We burned down your White House once.
I'm going to stop before we end up on a list. I will say.
Yeah, I don't really want to.
I will say the crazy thing to me was Zlatko Buric in this as Von Kovac.
That was a very weird pull, but I was very keen to see where they went with it, and I really enjoyed it.
I don't know how this man within the same 12 months got into both Superman and Wonder Man.
Yeah. Ironically enough, he probably shot this first. Because this has been shot and finished for what feels like years now, and they've just been holding on to it for some reason.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, the production on this started in 2023, and then moved.
Oh, really? I thought it was earlier than that.
No, this got stopped because of the writer's strike. And then they picked up in 2024, filmed all of it, then took a while to actually like just take their time, get the graphics right, because this is the graphics are fairly important for this. But also like Wonder Man has been like Marvel's not so secret project for some time now.
Weirdly enough, because Gunn introduced the character through some posters in the Guardians films, even though that was ultimately scrapped, with Nathan Fillion in the role of Simon Williams. So it's one of those things that they've been trying to do for a while, or trying to hint at, trying to make work. And I'm glad that they finally gotten to a place where they've delivered on a Simon Williams story. And honestly, I think what they've done here is such a departure from what the character is in the comics in the best way possible.
Yeah, the for me the character in the comics is kind of one note at this point.
It's a Tony Stark successor. Like it's
He's not even
a rival
that.
that's
He is that in one cartoon.
I thought that was what he was in the comics too.
No, in the comics he's an actor. They got all of that.
Is he?
Yeah, they had all of that. But he's also a pacifist. He is the Avenger that doesn't want to fight. And eventually that leads him to fighting the Avengers and becoming a villain. Wonder Man is also famously had a relationship with Scarlet Witch. And his brain scan is what created the Vision.
Yes, I do remember that.
So there's a lot of like just really weird shit that happened with Wonder Man. Wonder Man used to be so much bigger of a character than he is. But with this though, I like that we're like, okay, we got the actor stuff, we're getting that. That's all we're keeping. He's ultimately somebody that doesn't want using his powers. Doesn't want to use his powers. This very much felt like we got our first mutant storyline.
Yeah, what I really liked about this is that they knew he was powered. That was the crux of the damage control influence over the show, but it wasn't the crux of the show. Like there isn't a villain here as much as they want to paint damage control in that brush. Like it is just a thought piece on Hollywood production and what it means to, at least within this world, the whole idea of, signing this contract or this waiver to be like, I'm not powered because Hollywood has moved away from having powered individuals on screen for insurance reasons is a lot of fun to play around with. And I think, yes, to your point, I think really does start to evoke a lot of the classic machinations of what we gotten through mutant storylines in the comics. And I do expect this to be a stepping stone into what they eventually inevitably want to do with mutants and with the X-Men in the MCU. So really excited to see how they build off this type of storytelling in a way that's meaningful for future productions.
Yeah, I really wasn't expecting to get as much of this as we did. I was not expecting Doorman.
That was such a weird pull. Like, of all heroes, Doorman?
Like, crazy. Was not expecting Josh Gad to show up as Josh Gad.
Josh Gad is Josh Gad. It might be the best casting in the entire MCU.
Him doing the club remix of Summer.
That was
incredible.
Like, I was legitimately rolling over laughing. It was like so out of left field, but so my first, like for me, Josh Gad, my introduction to Josh Gad, the actor, is the Book of Mormon.
Yeah, same.
So for those who aren't aware, one, find a way to go and see that Broadway production, whether it be on Broadway, off Broadway, on tour, whatever it might be. Go see the Book of Mormon. Don't Google it. Don't listen to the songs on repeat like I do, even though I shouldn't with my son in the car. Just go and see this production, because knowing Josh Gad's background and where he ended up with Disney after coming from Broadway and the Book of Mormon is just such a dichotomy. And to see what felt like a more Book of Mormon version of Josh Gad, the caricature, was so fun for me as a fan of that production.
Yeah, he was very much having fun with this. I really liked this. So I wasn't expecting Doorman. We got Doorman. We got obviously Wonder Man. We got some setup if they ever really want to do it for Grim Reaper. I sincerely
He's
doubt
an
they ever
insurance salesman. They're not doing Grim Reaper.
Yeah, look, damage control fucks one thing up, and then there you go. That's all you really need. But it was more the fact that
I don't see it, but look, more power to them. I was waiting for that moment in this show, and I'm kind of glad we didn't get it.
You, I'm only saying Grim Reaper because I don't remember the character's actual name.
Eric,
thank you. That
is one thing I remember from that one episode of Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which, by golly, is that a show?
But that Wonder Man's brother is Grim Reaper?
Well, no, I remember Eric Williams from Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and that episode with him is just
We still need to do that
real good.
an episode on that show at some point.
Yeah, I can binge it in like 3 days if you want, but I shouldn't because I have responsibilities.
You have responsibilities, and we've got things going on right now. We've got at least 2 episodes in the bank coming up, so But yeah, talking about stuff in this. Despite all of the Marvelisms of the show, especially them like doing that, getting the moment of like Simon in the red suit so great with the sunglasses from the original film. I love all of that. For me, it was like it did such a good job of showing how absurd the process really is for creating things in a way that I just absolutely adore. Like the way you get into it does such a good job of it's like no, people who work in creative industries like film, movie, TV, and something I can talk on as someone who works in a separate creative field. You do this because you have to. You do this because there's something inside of you that says, "This is what I need to be doing." And this show did such a great job of encapsulating that and encapsulating different versions of it. Simon, who is incredibly anxiety ridden because of it, Von Kovac, who is incredibly successful and has no more worries in the world because of it, and Trevor, who is Trevor, and I really don't know how to describe this character anymore.
Trevor is just kind of like Coulson if he was weird failed actor type.
Like they really did a great job of putting those against each other, as well as like Simon's relationship to like his mom and his brother, where it's like his mom is supportive of him, his brother is not. Neither of them really fully understand it, but are going throughout their ways of trying to be supportive in their own ways. Getting it down then like into that interview episode. Like I loved this show for that. There's a couple of really cringe moments for me. Basically anytime Simon was giving notes on things, I was like, oh God, please stop, don't do that, please no. But
it's just, but it's one of those things, right? Of someone who is so in his own way as an actor to be giving those kind of notes when he's still kind of a nobody is very on character. It's very cringy, but that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
So I liked it personally.
Yeah, I think the show does so much good stuff. And I love that they don't just play into that. Like they have this whole episode of like Simon and Trevor trying to hunt down this kid that got footage of him using his powers. And it's hilarious the entire way through.
I hated the fact that he was on an e-scooter.
I hated it, but also it tracked.
It did, but I also hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are a nuisance. They shouldn't be allowed anywhere near a road.
Things shouldn't be allowed anywhere.
Well, that too.
But yeah, we got like every episode as well just felt so different from each other episode. Like it felt very intentional. It makes me so excited for what DDC is going to do with Spider-Man. Like, oh, you've done this good with a character that I didn't know I cared about. What are you going to do for a character that I already am invested in?
I was not at all concerned. I think Spider-Man might be my most anticipated film of the year because of how much I love Shang-Chi. Of taking this character that I don't really care about, give me an actor that is very relatable. Good old Canadian kid. Again, gotta shut that out when I can. Mississauga represent. But also just is so likable in a way that you can't not root for the guy. And that is essentially Spider-Man, right? It's Spider-Man just in a different coast. And that's why taking what he's been able to do with Shang-Chi, what he's done here with Wonder Man, I can't help but, anticipate what we're going to get with Brand New Day.
Mm-hmm. What makes me really excited as well for this is one of the cinematographers on this. His name is Brett Pollack. Has worked with DDC on a few different things. It is working with him on Spider-Man. Because I think one of my big highlights for this movie is how it is shot. One of my favorite moments in this entire movie is him. It's like that shot of him in the suit, and he shoots out, and it's like he has everything he's wanted, but because of what Trevor had to do to get him there, he is completely alone within it. Um, and it's this beautiful shot of him like standing alone in this room in the full suit. That was just so good. Um, and there's a ton of shots like that throughout this. They've done action very well. They've done that, and also like this dude has done some other movies that I personally adore. He did Unicorn Store with Brie Larson. Um, which is not the greatest movie in the world, but it's one of my personal favorites. He also did Instant Family with Sean Anders. So it seems like he was kind of perfect for this. Of let's go get into a human story, right? That's where comics I think always strive, and where stories in general always strive. If you get me to care about the person, I'll care about the story. And I think everything in this show kind of leads into that. Let's talk about this episode by episode. Kind of hit some of the major.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really quick because I think we've hit honestly most of the great things to talk about with this show.
Yeah, another fun we can get to it when we get to it.
Starting out episode 1 is kind of very much our setup episode. These two meeting, the audition and whatnot.
The idea of this 80s action movie now being something that, resonated with Simon, and is with it being remade as something that he wants to be a part of. Like,
yeah, like both of them needing to be a part of it.
For very different reasons, especially knowing, Trevor's ulterior motives as they come to be seen through the rest of the show. As Griffin struggles with headphones.
No, it was my hat. My hat was bugged. But yeah, we get that. We get them meeting, immediately becoming friends, and then the reveal.
I love the idea of this thing starting with an episode of American Horror Story starring Ashley Greene.
That was hilarious.
It was great. And again, it's just one of those things. Like, we're in Hollywood, so yes, this stuff's just going to be happening.
Mm-hmm. I do also love in general though that like somehow Marvel of all people was the ones to call out Hollywood for constantly remaking shit. Didn't think it would be Marvel.
Apple did it first.
I mean, yeah. But even then, I just still never expected it to come from Marvel.
Again, I think it just goes to show you what faith and trust they have in the team of Cretin and Guest on this show, where it's kind of like, yeah, just do your thing, tell a story. Like, that's what Spotlight's there for. You want to put a spotlight on Hollywood, put a spotlight on Hollywood. But and like they're probably so far up their own ass at the exec level at Marvel. Like, yeah, we can just say whatever we want. No one's gonna care. Like, true. It's still Marvel. People are gonna watch it. People are gonna go out and buy the lunch boxes. They don't care.
They did let Andor out, which is still a shock.
Would the new leadership at Lucasfilm have let that come out? I don't know.
No, they would not. I don't think they would.
You don't think Cowboy Hat McGee over there?
Cowboy Hat McGee actively said he didn't like Andor.
Did he?
Yeah.
I missed that.
He thought it was too serious. I was like, dude.
That was the point.
That's the point. Look, I love him. I love what he makes, but sometimes he can get up his own ass a little bit. Which is good. Why that he's not running it.
So it's a Jonathan Blow type situation.
Not that bad. That's such a specific reference.
You never want to go full Blow.
No one's gonna understand what we're talking about there.
Not in the slightest, and I love it.
Go look up this man. You're in for a fucking roller coaster of
yeah, you're going down a rabbit hole if you do. Please don't.
Episode 2 is self-tape. It's literally them just trying to get Simon to self-tape something for an independent film, and they just can't do it.
The whole scene where he's in the bathroom at Joe Pantoliano's house talking to his agent of like, I can't right now. I'm trying to do my self-tape at Joe Pantoliano's house. I'm just like, what is the absurdity of this show? Like, it's so wacky in a way that we haven't really gotten this kind of wackiness out of a Hollywood production or out of a Marvel production ever. Out of a Hollywood production, I would say like it's almost to the same level of absurdity as something like Pluribus.
I will say, okay, here's my question for you. Joe Pantoliano, clear your mind. What's the first movie you think of for him?
The Matrix?
Okay, good. I would have taken 2 answers for that.
Can I see if I can guess the other one?
Yes, you can.
Bad Boys.
No. Yes, but no. This man's in Memento.
I've never seen Memento.
Oh well. Watch one.
He also played Gabe in Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief.
He was actually really good in that role.
Yeah, he was. He's a really good asshole.
Episode 3, we get to meet Simon's family. So this scene,
He was Ben Urich in Daredevil.
Yeah. Until he gets killed.
Well, yeah. Spoilers for Daredevil.
Spoilers for a show that started how long ago? It was a while ago.
The movie came out in 1998. Nah, 2003.
I will say that was one of those few decisions in Daredevil that I didn't love, just because I wanted to see more Ben Urich, and I wanted to see Ben
in the
Urich,
show, not the movie,
in
right?
the show. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there.
But it was I wanted to see Ben Urich interacting with the entire MCU, especially Spider-Man, and we just never got it.
Yeah.
But yes, Pacoima, we got to be Simon's family. This was probably one of my favorite episodes.
That was fun, yeah.
I also love that this is a point of like Slattery coming to the point of, it's like, yeah, no, I was never going to do this.
Anymore.
Why was yeah. But also, like, I didn't ever really believe he was going to do it to begin with.
It felt like a means to an end at the beginning, and obviously, yeah, Trevor is just too nice for his own good now that he's off the booze and the drugs and all the other things he said he did.
Yeah, I love seeing him in Shang-Chi and then in this.
Mm-hmm.
Just what does a normal Trevor look like? Yeah, this episode was great. The way it coalesces, like I mentioned, like everyone trying to look out for him in their own ways. But his brother absolutely guilting the shit out of him. Just so good, so good. I love a good messy family dynamic.
It played really well here, especially understanding, Simon's family understands he has these abilities, but doesn't want to make a thing of it. And I don't know if it's ever again, I watched this when it came out, so I apologize if it was explained away at some point further down here, but like they talk about this fire at the house. Like Simon caused the fire, right?
I don't think they ever said one way or the other. I think it was just assumed that he did. Yeah.
You were in the same boat. Then you were under the same assumption.
Yeah.
That he in some way caused that, because it also felt like when they talked about him redoing the kitchen, Eric was so tongue in cheek about like, yeah, it's too bad we had to go through all this in a very guilting type of way, and understand like the subtext here of Simon caused this, and it likely was also how his dad died, because that's never really discussed much at length either. Of like this family has got some real skeletons, and it's really interesting seeing the dynamic between these characters and understanding there's a lot of this subtext that just goes unsaid or assumed by the audience, which I think is really smart of Marvel to finally give the audience an opportunity to feel smart when they typically are.
It's refreshing to have a show that isn't trying to be a second screen experience.
I was just going there with that whole thing that Ben Affleck giving the interview about their latest Netflix movie of like Netflix wanting folks to repeat the crux of the entire thing over and over again, assuming people aren't paying attention, is just scary to think about, but obviously is, the nature of the industry right now. So very interesting decision in this Spotlight production to kind of subvert those expectations and trust your audience to fill in some of the blanks themselves.
Oh yeah. Moving on to episode 4, Doorman. I think it was really smart inserting this episode here. Of like, okay, you got your callback. Here's why, by the way, everything is a big deal.
This is why we have the Doorman policy, and this is honestly one of the most interesting episodes of this show, especially with it being in black and white. I thought that was a really fun creative touch, especially knowing like it's not like this took place 40 years ago. This feels like it took place like a year and a half ago deal.
I know it's Doorman and not Cloak. But man, that felt like the Dark Dimension. Man, that
Yeah.
felt like the same place. Maybe this is me just wanting Cloak and Dagger back in the main MCU. But I'm just saying, y'all, it would be real easy. Just all I'm saying is you get Cloak and Dagger back in the universe. You get like a 5-second bit of Cloak just appearing with Josh Gad. That's really all you need. Because they've confirmed that Josh Gad is alive somewhere in Doorman.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not quite the Dark Dimension. Like, it's its own thing. But I would love to just see Cloak and Dagger just pop up as part of like a Spider-Man production of like, oh yeah, they're just street level helping him deal with like, I don't know, Scorpion, or I keep thinking Batman villains. I keep going like Condiment King or things like that. I'm like, I know that's DC, god damn it, but like some of the
Why'd you go
absurdity
to
of the Spider-Man
Condiment
Rogues
King?
gallery, I don't know. My first thought was actually something different, and then my brain stopped working for a second, and Condiment King is all that could come to mind.
Yeah, I want to see them pop up back, but I really love this in general. Like, yeah, the overarching story of Doorman, I think, was really, really good, and this is one of those, like, again, beginning, middle, end, perfect story, like in, out, done, perfect.
And I love the way the effect was managed as well. Like, it looked taxing on the character whenever it was happening, so I thought that was really nice. But also understanding like Doorman is a really bizarre character in the comics.
Yeah,
like at some point he becomes like the vessel of death. Like it's just weird shit.
Yeah, he's a character that's like, I don't think Doorman is on anyone's radar. But the fact that he is a West Coast Avenger, or well, he's in that line. Like, no, okay, he's actually a character that makes sense for this as well, and I love that. Like, Daniel just DDC so much easier. Is like,
it is way
like
easier.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull in the weird shit. Also, I would just like to say that when he was the Angel of Death, one of his abilities was Dark Force manipulation.
Yeah, I know.
Just
but
saying,
that wasn't this.
It would make sense. Also, I mean, another mutant.
I don't think he's a mutant here. Like in the comics, yes, but it's implied here that it's due to Roxxon chemical exposure, which is fine.
Hey, Roxxon, you know who else that links back to?
Spider-Man.
Cloak and Dagger.
I'm
waiting, by the way, for them to finally make Roxxon the villain in one of these movies.
I really think it needs to. Honestly, I would love if they get to a place where it's just like, yeah, we're just going to do Great Lakes Avengers and Roxxon's the villain. Because like we've had Mr. Immortal and She-Hulk, we've had Doorman here. It's not much of a stretch that, you know, Hawkeye or someone is their trainer. Like you can find a way to do it.
Well, they tried to do Great Lakes Avengers and it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
You could do
You've got two of them in the MCU now.
I mean, there is a version of the Great Lakes Avengers that is run by Red Hulk. I don't think Harrison's up for more, but it'd be
no. That's why I figured you might do like Hawkeye, Mr. Immortal, Doorman, Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, because if you assume that Kate is probably off with Kamala,
the champion stuff.
Mm-hmm. But like they very much made it clear there, right? Like that Carol's going to be training them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that leaves Clinton to kind of just do whatever he wants.
Kinda.
Anyways, we're gonna keep this rolling. Episode 5, they're freaking Simon's freaking the fuck out. This is the one I mentioned earlier. They get the footage of him. I love it. Like, this is clearly a drug house. Nah, man, we're making candy.
Which I thought was so fun. I'm just like, yeah, we're just doing bootleg candy. You know, you gotta have your side hustles. Things are tough out there. Like, it was an interesting just commentary on the economy in general, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. I also loved it. It's like both Simon and Trevor like, nah, this shit's good too.
And it's not even that, like Trevor the whole time of like, no, we can't trust,
Trust him.
is it Jaden was the
Yeah,
kid?
Jaden.
Something like that. Like, yeah, we can't trust Jaden. Jaden's sketchy. But Esteban, on the other hand, like this stuff's good. Like they got the good shit.
And then the fact
Like,
that he's
seriously?
100. He sounds insane, but also he was 100% right. That's the thing about Trevor that I love is like the dude, like whether he knows it or not, understands people.
He does. He understands people, and I think it comes back to acting,
Mhm.
right? He understands the human existence more so in at a much deeper level that just makes him come off as a crazy person, but he's not wrong.
Let's talk about episode 6, the episode at Kovac's mansion. For me, this was the hardest episode to watch. And I think it was just because I was so nervous for Simon.
I wasn't nervous for Simon. I was just like, I didn't need the process. This could have been like a 5-minute interstitial in one of the other episodes and really cut down here. Cause like I get the idea of this as a process, but like it felt a little heavy handed. But again, that's just someone who's not as well versed in the industry as others. So maybe those who are closer to it felt an affinity for this process and the fact that it needed to feel like it dragged on forever, but it was a
I mean,
little
it definitely
much.
feels like it drags on forever, but I do think it does a very good job of taking you inside Simon's head throughout all of this. Like, this
True.
man's had no sleep. He is stressed the fuck out. And it's, for me, it's the moment when he goes into the pretty woman speech, which I was proud of myself for recognizing that shit immediately.
I did not.
Look, it's a good movie. But like every single person in that room recognizing that is like, I don't have anything for this. I don't know what to do. I'm defaulting to something I know. It was like, oh, you're so close. You're so close. You're almost there. And then he gets there in the end, and it's great. But yeah, I would agree. I think this is the weakest of the episodes.
Yeah.
Moving right along, 7, I think one of the best of the episodes.
I'm gonna say it bounces right back.
Yeah. They're starting filming, and we get the Kathy Friedman, a reporter for the New York Times, writing a profile on them. And I love this one because it's like Simon freaking the fuck out, Trevor totally fine. And she's like, "Nah, I got nothing but nice things for you, Simon." Trevor, on the other hand,
That was such a swerve because they're setting you up this whole time like his brother sold him out. His brother sold him out. There's no way his brother didn't sell him out. Your brother had nothing but lovely things to say. Trevor, you're a known international fugitive. How would you react to me telling you that you should be in prison, but you're not? And we saw you get arrested and then you were on the streets the next day. What happened there?
dude, I loved that reveal for Eric because it was like the entire time, like, because as I have had family like that, where it's like, no, they care. They really do care. They just don't understand.
He's just an asshole.
It's not even they're an asshole. He is an asshole.
He's an asshole brother.
Yeah, but he genuinely was trying to support him in his own way.
Yeah.
And like that realization of no, they actually did care. They just didn't know how to show it. I think is something that's incredibly relatable. But yeah, I love the swerve here, and I love that it just erupts into this moment between Trevor and Simon, and then Simon blowing up the soundstage. To lead us into our finale. How did you feel about this finale?
Honestly, I thought it was perfect. And I don't say that often about finales. I've gone on record numerous
Especially for
times that the
Marvel.
finales of a lot of things we've watched have fallen flat. For me, it's kind of perfect of Trevor takes the fall and Simon breaking him out is just kind of like a lovely bookend to the way that their relationship started of Trevor trying to save Simon, and now you've got Simon saving Trevor.
Yeah, there's
I
something
I love the juxtaposition there.
there's something so great about seeing a version of the Mandarin that was just Trevor.
Yeah.
Like he wrote this and filmed this.
Sober Trevor to boot.
And like something about this version of the Mandarin is far more menacing than any of the stuff that he did in Iron Man 3.
He is in fact a very good actor.
Damn good. And yeah, I love this. I loved how much they showed like Simon's like, oh, Simon's just working on a new role. No, he's breaking into damage control and rescuing Trevor.
I also just love the idea in the end credits, the song that plays is from the film Midnight Cowboy, which is the film that they're watching when Trevor and Simon meet in the theater earlier in the show. And just like those kind of like small nods are just really smart and playfully well done throughout the show. And it was just a great way to kind of wrap on this.
So here's my last little bit for this because we've hit the end of the show, and it is just Marvel Spotlight in general. Mentioned
before we get there, I just want to say at the premiere for Wonder Man, I love the idea that Joe Pantoliano took Trevor's spot in this movie.
Yeah,
but also the turtleneck and chain, whatever the outfit that he had on at the premiere is just like a throwback to him as a West Coast Avenger when he was trying to be this pacifist and not be, in the limelight. It's just it's so good.
And it's his best outfit of the show.
Oh, like 100%. The red suit it was a drip. It was a drip.
But yeah, Marvel Spotlight in general, right? Like this is kind of crazy that we have this thing now where it's like, oh, this is going to be giving us one-off stories within the Marvel universe.
Will it though?
I was gonna say that's what the intention seems. I don't think it follows.
What I am seeing, reading the tea leaves, I'm not hearing people talk about numbers when it comes to the show, viewership. We didn't hear that very much with Echo. I worry that this format isn't going to be something they go forward with, which I would be disappointed in just because I did really enjoy the way that this production came together. But I also would have really enjoyed this production if it was weekly, if it was same creative team. They're still getting the opportunity to deliver on what they want, but maybe there's a little more VFX, whatever it might be, that amps it up to closer to what we're seeing from other Marvel television productions. But again, splitting this off into its own thing, I don't think has been, for Marvel at least, with just this billion-dollar entertainment machine, I don't think they're seeing the return on the investment they're getting from these spotlight productions in a way that you would see from an Agatha, a Loki, or what you see from the large film production. So I do envision, especially understanding the state of the economy right now and what a large conglomerate like Disney needs to do to continue to rake in billions of dollars, get their double-digit profits every year. Otherwise, the company ends up, who friggin' knows at this point? We're in this late-stage capitalist, hellscape that who knows what's going to go on tomorrow. But I do think Marvel needs to focus.
I mean,
what that focus needs to be, I don't know exactly what that is because I'm not a professional. We're just here pontificating, but I don't think Spotlight is it.
Yeah, I don't think Spotlight is long for the future. I hope that their TV is. We don't have a ton announced for the future. We know Daredevil. Season 2 this year, presumably season 3 next year.
I would say next year or early the year after. It seems like a safe bet.
They seem to like this March timing.
We've got Vision Quest.
And that, as far as live action goes, that's it. We also have Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, seasons 2 and 3, and X-Men 97.
We also have the special presentation of Punisher, which isn't film, but isn't like it falls into the same bucket as Werewolf by Night. So I'm very excited for that. But obviously it is kind of its own thing. It is live action. I would say it's television, but it's more of like a special versus a series.
And the thing about like all the stuff that have come up is I am genuinely excited for all of it. I also want to know though, what's next for Marvel TV? Obviously they're changing up how they're doing it, right? They're actually fully coming up with the scripts beforehand. They're not doing it as they're figuring it out anymore. They're actually putting time into it, and it sounds like they're going to be telling smaller stories.
Honestly, Griffin, I kind of want to put a pin in this right now. I think we should do an episode on what is the future of the MCU, because between film and television, we have probably less than a dozen products that we have.
I'd say it all kind of comes down to
many of which are in development hell. So I would really love to just sit with you and talk about that a bit.
Yeah, I'm so interested. Yeah, we have to do a full episode for it because I think it's just there's enough question marks.
Honestly, I'm down to try to find time for that this week if you are before my trip.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I don't know where I have time, but we'll figure it out.
We'll maybe not this week, but it will happen
Soon.
eventually, folks. Between that, Hopper, Daredevil, eventually Send Help is going to come to Disney Plus. We'll want to talk about that. Predator just came to Disney Plus. We should talk about that.
We should probably watch that.
I've got it on. I still haven't watched Prey. I feel like I need to watch Prey before I watch.
You do still need to watch Prey.
So I will try to do that, and we will talk about all of those things very soon. And if people want to know when and how we do talk about those things, Griffin, what can they do?
Well, you can follow us here on YouTube. Of course, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification button, and you'll get notified when we release new videos. Of course, you can also follow us on podcast services. You can follow us on TikTok, I guess. Griffy Dust is my TikTok where I put up all the things.
Don't follow me on TikTok. I've posted 3 things. One of them is a Pokemon video. The other one is me making queso.
Okay, so sounds kind of good.
It was good queso. I'm not gonna lie, but this was also like 3 years ago. No, longer than that. Jesus Christ.
See, I love because I have the personal TikTok and then I have the actual like putting stuff out for this TikTok. And man, they're 2 wildly different pages.
Yep.
But yeah, go check that stuff out. Obviously, we will be back to talk more Marvel, more Disney, more everything. There's a lot happening soon. So we'll keep an eye out for that. And until then, be good to each other and have a magical day.